Mesachta Bava basra daf kuf ayin dalid amid beis was doing kuf ayin hay today. Kuf ayin dalid amid beis 5 lines from the bottom. Amid av huna. Kuf ayin dalid amid beis 5 lines from the bottom. Amid av huna. Amid av huna shchib merah. A sick person shehigdish that was magdish kol nechasav, all his nechasim. And then v'yoma mana leplain b'yadi. He says out of everything that I was magdish. And he brings down from the Mefarshim over here. He said it already too long after he had already been magdish all his nechasim. Then he decided to say that there's $100 out of this pot of money that I gave to Hekdesh that belongs to somebody else. Says the Gemara, and he's still going to be believed. They take out the $100. Chazak Hashem. It's not Hekdesh. Oh, so that's what he says. Not man, he's believed Chazaka because ain't Adam is in Knunya al Hagdish. A person doesn't do tricks with Hagdish. He gave it to Hagdish, you're right. But he says $100. Taka, I woke up too late. But, yeah, in fact, the Gemara has a kasha. Maskor Rav Nachman is the question. That means, but by his children, I'm going to prove to you that he's not believed when he says such a thing. What's the difference? That's. Oh, he's soon going to say that Rav Shmuel, Rav and Shmuel, Rav and Tabai, they both had said he says the whole Yerusha is going to you. But mana leploini b'yadi. From them belongs to Yenim. Omatnu, if he said give it to that pliny, nice then we give. Lo yomatnu, if he didn't say give it, hey nice then we don't give it. Alma, so we see Adam asui sheloi lasbias banov. A person takes off a big chunk of the money and says it belongs to others, in order that they shouldn't feel. Here it's for the kids. Here he's saying that the kids shouldn't feel they have so much money.
If he takes up too much money,
he doesn't want. He says the people shouldn't think. That they're inheriting a big Yerusha, so he says $100 goes to other people. Yeah, I'll read the Rashbam. Not 100, it means a lot, a big chunk of money. He says it really belongs to him. It's not true that somebody else has that mois. People should think of him that is nicht like people are thinking. And the children, but the we don't want that the kids, there shouldn't be ayin hara on the Yerusha, so he does it in such a way. A lot of times by the Iranians, everything, their business is their father's, it's not theirs. The else is Yenam's. Okay, here also, when a person is makdish all his nechasim, people shouldn't be masakim as a rasha. Oh, get tazeh full. Grace agree. Cook me for get tzedakah get tazeh. So he says no. $100 belongs to a big chunk belongs to somebody else. But maybe it's not true. No, if I can't, he doesn't want people to know. He doesn't want. He doesn't want people to think he's such a big veer. So he says 100 of it belongs to others. So why don't we say the same thing by Hekdesh? That's the Gemara's kasha. Maybe that's what he is. Maybe the same should apply to Hekdesh. When did Rav Huna say that person could collect the money? Meaning by the Hekdesh. When the guy said 100 of it belongs to somebody else, the Nakhet Shtara, as Yena Halta Shtar, there's a shtar that proves that he owes the money. So Taisus says, if there's Nakhet Shtara and it's Mekuyim, okay, so Taisus talks about it. I don't have the answer here. Zakti Mara Meklau, from here we could be Medaik, that Rav and Shmuel, they're like Nakhet Shtara. Rav and Shmuel is talking about they're not holding on to a shtar. Matnu Naislim. So when he's not holding on to a star, if he said no, then we give it. Milval Peh have it because it's just a Milval Peh. But Rav and Shmuel don't have it. Milval Peh ain't a give. Rav and Shmuel are in agreement that a Milval Peh you cannot collect not from the Yoshim and not from the Lekuchis.
So what do you have to give a reason to push Shalei Lasbias?
What do you mean? No, so that's why. No, if he says no, you're gonna give it. If the Shechimera said no, then you give it, and it's a milva peh. And Avin Shmuel say a milva peh you cannot collect not from the Yosher, not from the Koch. It's finished. That's the answer.
He didn't say anything, so they can't collect. So he wants them to
Right,
collect.
right. They cannot collect unless if he said no. Okay. Here he brings down Rashbam explains Shmuel holds that over here was Mitzat Divrei Shechimera, and that's why they had to fulfill it. Here it's not a Divrei Shechimera. Okay, because here we're talking about even to collect while he's healthy. Elo Amar Rav Nachman, only Rav Nachman says either both cases the nakat started. So 1 minute, huh? Even by Hektish, side by Hektish, that's for sure. But even by the Yerusha, he's wanted to imply that the Rav Shmuel is talking about that he's not holding on to a star, right? And if he says no, you give it. So the Gemara is, how could you say give it? You said nice. Why should you even give it if he says to no? It's a milva peh. And Rav Shmuel hold that if it's only a milva peh, you don't give it. You're right. You cannot collect from the Yoshim. You cannot collect from the Lekuchis. And here it says to no, you could collect from the Yoshim. So how could you say Tnu means that you can collect if it's only a milva peh? So he says we learned Pshat wrong. Alam Rav Nachman, even in the case of the Yerushim, it's talking about there was a star. Either both side the case of Rav Shmuel, inside the case of the Yerushim, outside the case of Hagdish, inside the case of Yerushim, the Nakan Shtar, that there was a star. Like Kasha, Had the Mekuyim. Here, we're talking about that the star was Mekuyim by Hagdish. So this is where the Taisus comes in. A Taisus Makshim, if it's Mekuyim, Im Rav Huda Medav al Mikashal Malva Machzab Yiyadei Shtar Mekuyim, the Malva is holding on to Shtar Mekuyim. Why did Rav Huna Madur Hutzach Rav Huna Lemanusei Shalash Shchimera? What does he need to come out to the Nabanus of the Shchimera? Hare Amalva Yachligus Asachei Al Pi Ashtar Avad Bilvad. It says he can collect with the star itself.
Even from the children?
You don't need the hero of the Shchimera. So emphasis Hatis Matar Hashem Amalva gave us Chayv Mikol Echad Milvad Halei Ba'atzmai. When the Malva is collecting the Chayv from everybody except from the Leiva who tzarich liyishav hashvua de'abanan shahachayva eina perua. If he's not collecting directly from the Leiva, but he's collecting from the Yarshim, the Leiva's Yarshim, then he doesn't get away scot-free with a shtar mekuyim. He has to swear that the chayv wasn't paid up by the Yarshim or by the Leiva. Even if he has, because Avuna Meira Shahid, the Asr Shalash Chimina Shulchan Lamala Ma'avsheres, Lamav Ligas Eschev Ma'hekdish B'Leishva. That's what the Shchimera helped. That he won't be able to, that he can collect even without, he won't have to swear. Because if the Shchimera didn't say anything, then the Malva would have to swear. So but the Hira of Rav and Shmuel, where it's talking about Yarshim, not by Hekdish, the Leimekuyim. Is talking about a star that was Mekuyim. Omatnu. So if the Leiva said no, give it, the Shchimera before he's dying, the Leiva he said give it Kaimel Ishtari. He was Mekayim the star. So then the Malva could be Leiva even without verifying, without a shvua. Lo Omatnu. But if the Shchimera didn't say the words no, Lo Kaimel Ishtari, he wasn't Mekayim the star. And he won't be able to collect from the assignment without a shvur. Amar Rabba. Rabba said, "Shchimera she'amar manel pleinei biyadi." A shchimera that had said, "I have 100 of that person's money in my hand. I owe that guy $100." But the Yisayim said, "Parano, we paid up." Namanim, they believed.
He didn't die yet. He died already.
Even if he died, but the Yisayim said we paid up that chayv.
We have a cloud, you can't mount on geld from Yisayim. So
what do you mean by a milva peh? But
he
here,
said the Shechina said I have a debt. I owe somebody $100.
right?
And he died.
They said we paid it up.
Right.
They don't have to even say anything. You can't collect from Yisayim.
You could if there's a star.
And they said we paid this.
And even there's an opinion that says milva peh is a mitzvah. It doesn't. And milva peh is a mitzvah we learned yesterday. It's a mitzvah when they're adults they could collect. One opinion, maybe that's the opinion. Now money is believed. No mana leploni. But if he said, give this money to that person, and the Yisem said we paid, ain't no money. That I believe. Because news is stronger. In fact, the Gemara, we don't even understand what the Gemara is saying. Klap a lie, it should be just the opposite.
Who's the mother?
The Yisrael, to say that they paid up the chayv. In fact, the Gemara klap a lie, it should be just the opposite. Ipchem istabra. The opposite is more reasonable to say, Amat nu, if he directed the Yisrael to give the money, no mana. So given the Pascha avoiding the Milsa, since they had clear instructions to pay, so then it makes sense they paid. They can remember the party. Then we could say they paid because they had very clear instructions from their father to pay. But when he said mana lepleni biyadi, he says I have $100. It sounded like he owes. He doesn't know.
Not sure.
So they're not sure. Given the loy Pascha avoiding the Milsa, since the father didn't instruct him, give it. So it was very iffy. So we could touch over here that they didn't pay up the chayv, and the father did it. Maybe the father didn't really owe the money. He only did it kidei shalei lahasbia es atzmai, not to make himself look so rich.
Maybe the father.
Because maybe,
Maybe he thought he still owes them.
or maybe he says the reason if he gave a clear instruction, we know he really owed the money. If the father didn't give a clear instruction, the Yisrael might have thought he really the money is ours. He's just. No, is like we said before, not to make himself not to make himself look so rich. So rather, if you want to learn like this, what's the pshat over here in this brayse that we were mechalik? If he said tnu or not tnu, if he didn't say tnu, he said shchimera shama manale pleni biyadi. A shchimera that said I have $100 of that person, I owe him $100. Our father came back and said he paid up that chayv.
Oh, the father said he paid up.
He came back after he was dead.
No, he was still alive.
Still alive.
No money. They're believed to say that the father said he paid it up. The Yisema believed to say that the father said that he paid it up. My time, because at Chudi Mitchar, here we say he didn't give them the instructions because he wasn't clear whether he paid him up. So therefore, he didn't give clear instructions. So he waited to go over before you say tnu. You make tnu means you're saying give away the money. You don't give away the money till everything is on the dotted line. You cross all the dotted lines. Then you say tnu. Here he didn't say tnu. Why? Because he was thinking maybe he paid back. And Taka, he reminded himself he paid back. That's why he didn't say tnu. But if he said, that's why he's believed. That's why Yisema believed to say that the father remembered and he paid back. But if the father said tnu mana lepleni, he gave direct. The father went over all the dotted lines, crossed all the dotted lines. He knows for sure he owes that money. And then Amra Yisema, the Yisema said Chas v'amalanu abba paraiti, that our father said that he paid up. Ain't that money? We don't believe. Because the im isa the pare, because if the father had paid up, lo yava omat tnu, he would have not said to begin with tnu.
So why is it tnu?
Why did he say tnu? Because he owed the money, and he never. Again, the tnu is right next to the death. So if he said, if right next to the death, the father said kal chmutik, I owe $100 to that guy. He didn't say tnu. Then we could say right before he died, he said he paid it back. But if he said right before tnu, give it. So that means the father didn't pay back as of that time, and there was so little time till he died. You can't say, and the father said he paid back. There was no time to pay back. To say you remember you paid back, okay, that's before the death. But to say that they did it, they went and we clipped geld and we got tzedek so fast right before the death, that we're not going to believe. But you know,
The same say they paid. They don't believe the same.
If the same say the father paid back, that we don't believe. To say the father remembered that he already paid back, we don't see it. A shchimera that was made in front of Adam that he owes another person money. But what's the din? In order to say that he's not making a joke, tzarich leima atem eidai, do we have to say that he had to say to prove that he's not joking, that you are, no, to appoint him, you are my aidus to say, yeah, and not only that, I'm appointing you as aidus that I owe this money. Or he doesn't have to say that, he doesn't have to appoint him, you're my aidim, to say aidus that I said that I'm being moya, I owe money. Why not? Because a person before his death, maybe he's not making a last joke. Maybe people before they die normally don't make jokes. Okay.
He wants to die happy.
but he gives instructions.
Everybody laughing.
Okay. Does he also have to say, write up the star that I owe the money? Write up a star to say that I owe the money? Or I don't have to say, or he doesn't have to say that. So the Gemara explains the two sides of the suffix. I already told you. Do we say a person makes a joke before he's dying? He's not. It could be that he wasn't serious before he died, or not I mentioned serious before he's dying. He gives it the real instructions. So bust the baya, hada pashta. If the Rabbi is the shaila, or to for the shaila, he answered the shaila on his own. Ein adam neshata the shas misa. Person doesn't make jokes before he dies. He says serious guy is giving serious instructions. But divrei shchimera kiksubim bekimsurim damli. And the words of shchimera here, it's a play of words because kiksubim damli means that you don't need a kinyan. Here it's a play of words. He wants to say we asked if he has to add. Do they have to write up the shtar for him? So he says it's as if it was written up and then given over. So you don't have to appoint him. You don't have to write the shtar because he's serious business before. He wants to pay up all the chavis. Yeah.
You got to write a will, or make a trust.
Yeah, in the will. Yeah, I know in my father's will is written. Make sure you paid up for the matzevas and the whatever you need. Oh yeah, that's standard. Okay, I saw that.
Pay all my funeral expenses.
Right, he wanted that right away.
For my money.
Yeah. Amalvas chaveirei, somebody who lends his chava money, bishtar with a star, gave him in the chos mishabadim. If it's with a star and with edim, so then. If the loiva went ahead after he borrowed the money and sold his nechasim, then the malach can go to the nechasim and collect it if he doesn't have money. They aid him, but what's if he did it in front of Adam, but no star? Hey, the star is was macht the kail, no star. So the koch is based from garnished. So ain't going elam nechasim and eichayim. He can only collect from what the loiva has now in his hands, not from the mishmatim, because not from the lekochis, because when they bought it. They haven't gewusst, as far as that there's a halva over here, there's a lien because there was no star.
What's wrong with the Edis?
Edis nicht kein Keil. The Edis mach hasum be star macht a Keil. Sagt die Gemara. Yeah, but this is the Mishnah. A Gemara and there's a Mishnah. Here's the Mishnah. Hoitzi Allah of Ksav Yadei. What's if he gave a IOU star? IOU star is no Edom. He himself writes, I owe you $1,000. That he owes him the money, gave him in the chasm neichayim. That's nicht kein star mit zwei Edom. So he could only collect from the labor from the chasm neichayim, whatever he has now. Or if hayoitzlacha chitmash star is. Yeah, the labor wrote a IOU star, and there's no Edom in the star, so there's no kail. So the halacha is that so it's no tumul. So the lekuchis don't know about not to buy. So he can only collect from them the chasim and eichayim. Ariv, so hayoytzel acha chitim shtaris. If there was an ariv that signed arvis, but after the whole star was written and after the Edom signed, the ariv signed, I'm guaranteeing. So such a case, go in the chasim and eichayim. He can only collect from the chasim and eichayim. Not from the Ariv's Nechas Neichayim, because he was after the signatures. So from the Ariv is nicht talking tumul. It's only on the Mal and the Lever where there was the Chesimis. He came after the Chesimis.
What kind of star was it?
A regular star was. But his name was written. A star with a chayis. But the Ariv's name that he guarantees came later. after the signatures.
He's only guaranteeing you the B'nai Chayim.
Oh, so that's according to Rabbi Yishmael. Now, 1 second. Ma'asu b'lifnei Rabbi Yishmael. This exact same story with a star, where the other was signed his name after the signatures. So Rabbi Yishmael Paskin, he could be given only from the Nechas B'nei Chayim. Amaloi ben Nanos. Nanos said, what? He can't be given anything for the other if the other signed his name after the signatures of the star.
Where should he have signed? He should have signed
Before, part of the story, yeah. Amaloi, before the Eden, that he's out it. Amaloi, Rabbi Yishmael said to him, Nanos, Lama, why is the other not mechuyev to pay at least Nechas B'nei Chayim? Amalei ben Nana says, Hare, let's say that what you saw in the street, that the Malva is choynek es echad b'shuk. You see the Malva halt the enemy by halts, and he's choking him, and he's shaking him up. He says, either you pay the money or that it's a fire ticket. I'm going to take care of business. Yeah. So that's what's happening here. And then you had another guy intervene. He says, listen, hey. He tells him, how do you leave him alone? I'm the what's that guy, Penny, the guy who saved the guys. Okay, here I'm just joking. There, a third guy came in to save the day. He says, leave him alone, I'll take care of him. Potter, not this one, with money. He says, I'll pay the money. So Potter, he's Potter. He doesn't really have to pay it because Shaloi al emunasa yavo, because the Malva didn't lend the money because he relying that the other will pay money. The other wasn't even around. So he says al derech says here, this other came after the chsims of the star, after the whole story. So the he could be mechayim, but he can't be mechayim. He could say, I'll pay if he wants to. But it's mamish like the chaynek.
Let the guy, leave the guy and go,
Oh, 1 minute. So he saved the day. The guy ran, and then he told him, fine. He showed him the elbow. Anyway, so, okay, I don't know. Fucking mother. So what type of an ariv would be chayiv? He says, if he said, halveyu, lend that person money. So that's a ariv. Lend. Make him lend us. Lend because you could trust me, and he has anah from this that the Malva trusts him and lends the money because he's going to be the ariv. Then in chayiv, then he's taka chayiv. Shekain alpi emunasei hilbo, because based on his on him he lent out the money. Rabbi Yishmael said, somebody wants to sharpen his mind. He wants to get smart. Yasik b'dinei mamanis. He should deal with dinei mamanis. There's no space in the Torah more than here when it comes to dinei mamanis. Then the dinei mamanis. It's like a wellspring that's overflowing the whole time. And one who wants to be preoccupied and know the halacha of dinei mamanis, Yishamesh Shimon ben Anis should serve Shimon ben Anis, because he came up with this genius idea. If the ariv is after the chsimas, he's not even a guarantor. Zok to your mother.
All the other tenants also gave aces.
Okay, he used them. Obviously, this is not the only time. Ula Yizak Dvar Torah B'nat Torah. Echad milva b'shtar, echad milva al peh, gave him the chas mishabadim. Minat Torah, even if you don't have a star, you can collect from the lekuches. My time, what's the reason? Shibud daraisa, because shibud is minat Torah. We have the pasuk, we had it yesterday, that he can take a mashkin from him. That means he has a shibud. I don't remember the pasuk. I'm trying to find that pasuk, but there's a pasuk that shows you that when a malva lends money, he has a shibud on the leiva, and the leiva, you can demand the mashkin from there. Yes, minat Torah there's a shibud. No, I feel on a star. A malva, he lends money. Somebody who lends money has a shibud on the leiva.
So what does it mean as a shibud? I can take the shirt off your back?
You could take that's one. up to, but he has to give it back at night, when he needs it.
Why
No,
is
but
it
I'm
like,
taking shirt in payment, in lieu of payment.
Yeah, but you have to give it to him if he has nothing at night, a pillow, a sweater, whatever he needs.
what is
Okay.
up in Teda?
Is a shibud. You can
Somebody
go
came-
after if he owes money, and he sold, let's say, the chosim to others. So really, you can go after anything because you have a lien on from the day of the halva that you gave the labor. Anything that he had, anything that he gave away is. No star. You don't need a star. I mean, I'll tell you, shibud is the
A
alaisa.
couple of months ago, he seemed desperate, and I felt bad for him, and I gave him a couple $100.
Right.
And then he told me go fine. You give me 120. So what should I do to him?
Here, the pasuk is haloiva yoitzi aleches ha'avoid hachutza. The lady has to take out a mashkin outside to give him in exchange to the malva for the money that he's not paying him. He must give him a mashkin. So you see, he has a shibud. Says the Gemara matam amru milva paying a give adam in the chasm nechadu. Why could they only collect from whatever he has in his hands and not from the lekuchis who bought the fields? You shouldn't say the lekuchis because it will be a loss for the buyers because they don't know that there's a lien and they bought it by mistake. It's a takana b'darabanan. Takana has bizalishkenan tsunam from the lekuchis that you shouldn't be able to take away from the
you don't
lekuchis.
have people to check it out before buying?
No, but that's why we have a star. A star, but signatures that's like makes a coil that people will know not to buy.
This will be other stuff.
Milva b'shtar nami. In fact, you might buy milva b'shtar. Let us be afraid that the lekuchis will lose. Says another, no, milva b'shtar. Hasem inu ninu da'afsidam nafshayu. They themselves caused their own loss because they knew that there was a lien because of the chesimus in the star.
Why they go buy it? They took a risk.
They took a risk. It's their loss. Rabba says just that mamish the direct mamish the opposite. Dvar Torah, Mina Torah, Echad Mishtav, Echad Milval Peh, Ein Agavim Al Mechas Bnei Chayim. They even the milva b'shtar you cannot collect from the lekuchis. My timer. What's the reason that he says neither? Because Shibud loved that I say he holds Shibud is not Mina Torah.
What does that mean? Anytime you give
Mikadin, the malva has no schus to collect from whatever the lever sells. That's what he holds. His Shibud is not Mina
don't take
Torah.
what he has.
Only what he has. Umatam amru milva b'shtar give him the chas mishabadim. So why did the Rabba say that a milva b'shtar you could collect from the lekuches? Says Gemara kadesh shaloi sin oil delas b'fnei lavin because nobody's going to want to lend money. There's no way of getting your money back.
There's a guarantee.
You need. There's no guarantee. Like he lent out money. That's it. They fight from it.
No, I felt bad for the guy.
You didn't give her a star.
I did. He asked me, and I thought he was an honorable guy, and he knew me. And, then he said, "Too much time."
In fact, the Gemara yachi if so.
Practically killed him. They took advantage of him.
In fact, the Gemara yachi if so. Milva al peh nami.
In America, it went away.
Nice hair. I don't
Okay.
even went to those things.
In fact, the Gemara yachi if so. Milva al peh nami. So milva al peh should also be able to collect from the chas mishabadim because because people won't want to lend money. So Gemara hasam less like color. Milva al peh can't shop king tightness. There's no coil that the rumor going around saying that the money there's a lien on this labor. So that's why you can't expect that the lekuchis should have to give away the property because they didn't know about it. But by Ishtar, yeah. In fact, did the Rabbi say Shibud lav da Raisa? Well, Rabbi said early on when it gave to the schus of a bechir, when it comes to collect, the father left a chayiv to collect from somebody's karka. The guy owed money; he had no money, so the father left a chayiv that the children could collect from Chaim Yankel's karka. But Chaim Yankel, yikum zer tate. Chaim Yankel owed their father money, and there was no money, and there was only karka. So
The labor didn't have
the labor, the upbach was to pay back with karka. So there we said gavu karka. Yes, loi. If they were coming to collect karka, the bechayir gets double, and it's not considered ro'u. Ro'u means that it's not yet in the yoshim's in the father's ishus. By karka, we consider it a shibud of karka. It's considered already in the father's ishus. The only time a bechayir can get pishnayim, it's double chelik, only if it's mamish in the father's ishus.
If
If it's not, he can't. He gets equal with the brothers. When they collect from the money later, they can only get, he gets equal to brothers. But over here we said, by Kaka, he gets a double portion. So your mother, so if he gets a double portion because of the Shibud Kakoi, so you see, Shibud Daraisa. Because if Shibud allowed Daraisa, how would he get Pishraim if it's not considered the father's before actually taking the Karka? And it says Gabul money is saying, look, but if it's been a collection of money, he only gets equally with the brothers. And if you want to say if you want to say Rab is the one that says Shibud Daraisa. And that's why he says the Bechai can collect twice. And Ula says Shibud Daraisa. You can't say that. Ula says Minat Teira Balchayv Dina Beziburius. That the Balchayv could collect from Ziburius of the Karka that he has a Shibud. The Balchayv could collect from from the worst of the Karka because he has a Shibud on it. So you see, Ula holds Shibud Daraisa. A mazik gets from the best. That's what the Torah says. The limudim. El Rabba time the name Arava Kama, and for the Gemara only Rabba Taka holds Shibud Alav Daraisa. But he was talking about those people who live in Eretz Yisrael, and they hold Shibud Daraisa. He said he doesn't hold like them. He was talking according to them that only if it's karka could they collect. Could the Bechai collect double, but a pishnayim, but not if it's money. Rav Shmuel Dam Tavayo, Rav Shmuel both had said, if it's just a milvah, you cannot collect not from the yarshim nor from the lekuchis. In fact, in one of my time, what's the reason? Because Shibud will have that Isa. Because they held Shibud is not minat Torah. If Shibud is not minat Torah, there's no Shibud on the yarshim or on the lekuchis. They can collect side from the Yoshim, side from the Kuches. My time, what's the reason? Because they said Shibud Daraisa. The Shibud was there from before it went to the Yoshim. So they could collect from the Yoshim and the Kuches. That's right, that's a Machlaikis. We said before, we Shibud Daraisa because there's a pasuk that the Malva could collect even from the Mashkin. I don't remember the svara behind the ones that say it's lav daraisa. Okay, Meisvei. Somebody who dug a bear in the shusab, enough how love shayir. While he was digging, shayir came by and fell on him and killed him, and the shayir killed the person. Pate. So the bala shayir, the bala shayir is pate if the shayir killed the person. On the person who was digging the bay. No. Oh, the shayr died also. So the not only nishna das, elashim meis hashay. If the shayr died, yoshay bal haber chayav l'shalom neishay l'balav. Nishna was the bal hashay that gonish tzolen. He doesn't have to pay anything for the dead person, but the yoshim of the dead person have to pay the bal hashay for the shayr. Amar Rabbi Allah. Amar Rab. Oh, because he was in Shus Haram, he had no right to dig a bayit in Shus Haram. He's right because Lefnei Yibel because yeah, but it's Yoshim, the Yoshim. It's a milvah pay. You don't collect from the Yoshim. Amar Rabbi Allah, Amar Rav. Here it's talking about it's considered as not a milvah peh, like a milvah shtar, because before he didn't die right away, and there was a din Torah, and they paskin that he owes the money. Then it's considered as a milvah b'shtar. In fact, where was the din Torah? It killed him right away. It didn't kill him right away. He was sick for a little while and then he died. They first let him have the din Torah so the Yoshim should lose some money, and then he died. No, he did. He made it for a little while, enough to make it through the din Torah. In fact, yeah, they tried. They kept him alive. They put him on life support just for the din Torah. But it says that the way he died was that the shayr fell on him, and that's where they buried him in the bay. So how could he have gone to din Torah? Says the Gemara, the Yasri, the Yoni, Apum the Beira, that they was the Bezdin was sitting by the bay, in the place where he's, and they made
what were you doing there?
They found the Bezdin right away. Amar Papa, let me just finish. Our Papa said, Hilchis milva apeh goyve min hayoshim ein agel min halakoches. The din is that a milva apeh can be collect from the yoshim, but not from the lakoches. Why? Goyve min hayoshim. Kedei shaleisinos delis b'fnei lavan. If the labor borrowed money and you cannot collect from the yoshim, they'll never borrow. But veina goyve min halakoches because the lakoches are losing. The less lekola. It's a milva apeh. How would they know that they shouldn't buy? So therefore, you can't collect from the lakoches.